Hello, today we are going to study Unit 9 in the new Hello, which is called the senses. The senses. We have 5 senses. You can see, you can touch, you can smell, you can taste, and you can listen. So, these are the senses. But at first, let's start with a revision exercise for the last unit. Number 1, choose being to be very intelligent can be useful. Can be useful. So being very intelligent can be useful. Number 2, they spend 2 hours doing, to do, does exercise. So they spent 2 hours doing exercise. Number 3, people who work on ships are sailors, customers, pirates, sailors. So they are sailors. Number 4, when you are sorry to say something, you are happy, afraid, lazy, intelligent. So as we said in the previous lesson, so the word sorry equals the word afraid. Okay, let's check the new vocab for this unit. The first verb, invite. Invite. When you want some friends or someone to come, for example, to your house or a party at your house, you have to invite him. Invite him. So Ali invited me to his birthday party. So Ali asked me or told me that he wants me to attend his birthday party. So when you ask someone to attend or to come to your house or a party or a wedding for anyone you know, that means that you invite him. You invite him. Okay? The word invitation is the noun of the word invite. The word invitation is the noun of the word invite. Like, I received an invitation yesterday. I received an invitation yesterday. Okay? So we have 2 words, invite and invitation. Number 3, the word instead of. I like going to the club instead of staying at home. So I don't prefer staying at home, but I like going to the club. So instead of, that means that you want to do something, but you don't want to do something else. So I like going to the club instead of staying at home. Number 4, the word or the phrasal verb set up. Our factory was set up 10 years ago, was built, was established. So the word set up means build or establish or start a project, for example. Like our factory was set up 10 years ago. Our factory was set up 10 years ago. Then we have the word hand out. Hand out equals give. Hand out equals give. Like, could you please hand out or give the books to the student Salma? Distribute or give. Distribute or give equals the word hand out. Could you please hand out or give or distribute the books to the student Salma? Then we have the word look up. When you don't know the meaning of a word, you can check it in your dictionary or look it up. If you don't know what an English word means, look it up or find it in a dictionary or on the internet. Then I have the word communicate with. Communicate with, like the word contact someone, contact some people. We can communicate with each other through the internet. We can communicate with each other through the internet. The last word here, the word equipment. The word equipment, at first, it's a single word. It's an uncountable word. it doesn't have the word are, where, or any word that means that it's plural. So, because why? Yes, because it's an uncountable word. An uncountable word. All the equipment in this factory is new. So that means that all the machines are perfect. All the machines are perfect. Okay? Okay. Now, let's check some language notes about Unit 9. At first, the word blind and the blind. Blind, it's an adjective. So, or it can be used as nouns. So, if you want to talk about a blind man means that a man that he can't see. Blind means that people who can't see. Like this system is for blind people. Blind people. You can change the word blind people into the blind. The blind. Like the word poor. Poor people. Like the word the poor. Rich people. The rich. Kind people. The kind. Okay? The word work out. The word work out. You should try to work out the meaning of the word, to guess the meaning, to solve the meaning of the word, to guess or to solve. The word improve and the word prove. Improve. Prial wanted to improve the system. Prial wanted to improve the system. But the word prove means he wanted to prove that he was right. He wanted to make sure or to assure to us that he was right. Prove something. Then would like to is followed by infinitive. Would like to is followed by infinitive. Like, would you like to go to the club? Would you like to go to the club? Here they are, the language notes for the first part. Number 2. What would you say to invite people? How can you express by words inviting people? If you want to invite someone to a party or any occasion at your house and so on, how can you do this? Let's check them. What would you say to invite people? I can say, would you like to come to my birthday party tomorrow's night? Would you like to come to my birthday party tomorrow night? I can use, I'd like to invite you to my birthday party tomorrow night. I'd like to invite you to my birthday party at home tomorrow night. So, what would you say to accept the invitation? You were invited and you accepted the invitation. How can you express this? Like, I'd love to. That or it sounds great. Or that's a great or a good idea. That's a great or a good idea. It would be fun. Sure, I will come. All these expressions are used to accept the invitation. So, if you refuse the invitation, what would you say to refuse the invitation? Like, I am sorry, I am busy. For example, I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid I can't. As we said, I'm afraid equals I'm sorry. So you can say I'm sorry I can't. Also you can say I'd love to. That means that you wanted to go, but I can't because, for example, my uncle is very ill and I'm going to visit him, and so on. So what would you say to invite people? Would you like to? Or I'd like to invite you to. Number 2, what would you say to accept the invitation? I'd love to, or it sounds great, that's a good or a great idea, and so on. Number 3, what would you say to refuse the invitation? You can say, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't, I'd love to, but I can't because, and give us any reason. Okay? Let's check our understanding here. If I ask you, What would you say in the following situations? You invite your friends to go to the cinema. You invite your friends to go to the cinema. How about going to the cinema? How about going to the cinema? Or let's go to the cinema. Would you like to come with me to the cinema? I invite you to go together to the cinema. All these expressions are right and accepted. Okay, number 2. You accept your friend's invitation to play football. You accept your friend's invitation to play football. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Or it sounds great. Or I'd love to. Okay? Number 3. Your friend has invited you to his birthday party, but you are busy. How can you express your refusing to the invitation? Like, I'd love to, but I am busy. I'd love to, but I am busy. Okay? Today's lesson talks about the non-defining relative clauses. The non-defining relative clause. We use the non-defining relative clause to give extra information about the noun. To give extra information about what? Yes, about the noun. Like, number 1, we use the relative pronoun who for people. Like Mr. Zaki, who lives next door, is a scientist. Mr. Zaki, who lives next door, is a scientist. Okay? Okay, number 2, we use the relative pronoun which for things and animals. Elephants, which live for around 45 years, are found in Africa. Here we have a very important note. Before, we studied that who equals that, and also which equals that. But that can be used instead of who or which, but in the defining relative clause, not in the non-defining relative clause. So the word that here can't be used instead of who or which. The word that here can't be used instead of who or which. So pay attention to this point. I can't say Mr. Ali that lives next door is a scientist. No, that's wrong. But I have to say Mr. Zaki who lives next door is a scientist. Also, we can't say elephants that live for around 45 years are found in Africa. No, that's wrong. But the right form here is elephants which live for around 45 years are found in Africa. Okay? We use the relative pronoun where for places and when for time. Like, we went to visit my cousins in Luxor, where they have lived since the 1970s. We went to visit my cousins in Luxor, where they have lived since the 1970s. Okay? An example for when. The photo shows Alexandria in 1990, when my parents lived there. When my parents lived there. So the word there here is for Alexandria. We can't delete it. Number 4, we use the relative pronoun whose to show possession. We use the relative pronoun whose to show possession. Mr. Adil, whose factory produces cotton cloth, is very rich. Mr. Adil, whose factory produces cotton cloth, is very rich. Okay? There is always a comma before an undefining relative clause and after the clause if it's in the middle of the sentence. You have to pay attention to this punctuation 4. All these examples, we used the comma. Yes, we used the comma here and here, here and here, and so on. So, like I went to visit my friend who lives in Portside. The post office, which is opposite the bank, is crowded today. So pay attention to this punctuation form here. We have to put or use the comma before an undefined relative clause and after the clause if it's in the middle of the sentence. So there is always a comma in the non-defining relative clause sentences. Let's check an exercise here. Rewrite the sentences using the words in brackets to give the same meaning. Ahmad the cousin is a doctor. He lives in Asyut. If you want to use who, so Ahmad the cousin who lives in Asyut is a doctor. Ahmad the cousin who lives in Asyut is a doctor. Number 2, do you know the girl? Her father is a doctor. Do you know the girl? His father is a doctor. Use whose. So, do you know the girl whose father is a doctor? Do you know the girl whose father is a doctor? Here we made the two sentences just one sentence here. Number 3, squash keeps me fit. It's my favorite sport. Squash keeps me fit. It's my favorite sport. So the sentence my favorite sport is an additional information here. So squash, which is my favorite sport, keeps me fit. Keeps me fit. Number 4, August is a hot month. We always go to Alex in August. So I ask you to use when. Yes, August, when we always go to Alex, is a hot month. August, when we always go to Alex, is a hot month. Okay? So that was all for today. Thank you very much.